What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Hey, I'm going to be live streaming this afternoon, probably around 4:30, 5 o'clock Central, probably 4 hours from when you see this video, right here on the main channel. Would love to see you. The backlash for Star Wars isn't going away. In fact, their social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, have been completely taken over. They are not allowed, essentially, to post anything by the angry fandom keeping them in check. And it is absolutely hilarious. I want to thank you all for continuing to push back against Lucasfilm for, well, many of their decisions. And I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, whether it's just with your view, your like, your comment, or clicking that red subscribe button down below. It's all extremely important. Now, this article from Pirates and Princesses came out, and it was kind of in line with a video I wanted to make for today anyway. The Star Wars YouTube channel is getting pushback from fed up fans. Disney and Lucasfilm have a Star Wars problem, and is getting bigger. Before the sequel trilogy, there had always been fan disagreements and discussions about various elements of Star Wars canon or universe, but that has exploded in the last few years with the sequel trilogy and arguable arbitrary social media quote guidelines. Well, I've got to say, where this really happened, where the divide in the fandom, got untenable, because there have always been super fans. There's always been, the thing is, when you talk about the disagreements inside of the Star Wars community before, it was like two super fans arguing about who shot first. And there was no doubt that both were incredible fans of the franchise. Nowadays, it's completely different. It's fans of Star Wars plus fans of the culture battle. The idea that they can push their particular ideology using Star Wars as the vehicle for this. This is what Kathleen Kennedy did day one with her The Force is Female garbage, with Rey, the character, as a ridiculous Mary Sue, as Admiral Gender Studies in The Last Jedi. It's just, this is why the fandom is so fractured. There is an entire YouTube sphere, one that I'm a part of, at least tangentially, that has grown up and just grown out of the hatred for the decisions that they're doing, that they're making. It's not just Gina Carano. It's just the story. It's writing stories about Lando Calrissian being pan curious or whatever. Nobody cares about that crap. If you spent 1 second noodling on that, that's a second you could have spent writing a better story. It's recently come to head as actress Gina Carano was fired from Star Wars: The Mandalorian show for social media posts. Many people have pointed out that the guidelines and rubric for what is or is not acceptable by those associated with Lucasfilm seem to be more of a sliding scale depending on who you are or what political leanings you have. Objectively, there do seem to be some different rules for different people. Most of the issues involving Disney Star Wars can be tracked back to The Last Jedi, as I said. Social media behavior by cast, crew, and employees of Lucasfilm, and the media friendly to Disney. Disney and Lucasfilm have seemed to allow their people or media to push narratives that paint people who disagree or don't like their products as phobic or against women. There was a spectrum of reasons people didn't like the choices or the directions taken by the Star Wars team. And while being against diversity or minorities does happen, it's a very small amount of people who actually felt that way, not in the numbers that Lucasfilm and the media report. Well, it's not. I mean, okay, Star Wars is such a huge fandom. Yes, you're going to have some morons in it. I mean, there's probably people who, like Charles Manson probably likes Star Wars. I mean, is that the road we want to go down? It's so huge. It can't even really be held responsible for who's in its fandom anymore. The idea, though, that people if you're against what is an obvious forced decision, then you're against all. It's like, I don't like forced diversity, in particular when it appears to be at the expense of good writing. Somehow that just means you just don't like brown people. Of course, that's not the case. You know, there's all sorts of weird stuff going on in Hollywood. Like, look up the replacement of redheads. There's something weird going on with that. Many fans were tired of being labeled in offensive and dismissive ways, which perpetrated the animosity. Then the bright light appeared with The Mandalorian on Disney+. Lucasfilm and Disney were winning fans back. Fans across the world cheered when Luke Skywalker appeared. Well, yeah, I mean, that was probably basically the biggest moment in the Star Wars universe in the last 10 years. At least that's how it felt to me watching it. It felt like, oh man, I'm over a lot of the little annoying things that you've done in the past. You know, having Jon Favreau and Filoni, you know, at the helm of The Mandalorian, two obvious fans of Star Wars and two people that obviously understand the Star Wars fandom. It felt like, man, okay, at least we have The Mandalorian. You know, at least we have this. And a lot of people came back to the fandom. You know, a lot of people's opinion were simply, you know, oh man, I really hate what Star Wars is doing, but Mandalorian's good. I mean, there were millions of people in that camp. Now, with the excitement came pushback from people associated with the Lucasfilm Story Group. And it doesn't seem coincidental. At Disney Plus, Star Wars started to create more unity. Lucasfilm would double down on their new, quote, High Republic initiative and continue sliding the scale of, quote, acceptable behavior, causing more division. Now, remember, the host of the High Republic had posted some heinous things, you know, deriding white women multiple times and white people. And this is a woman who has terrible opinions in my opinion. She's entitled to have them, but we're entitled to not like them. And this is a woman that Lucasfilm, the corporate account for Star Wars, tweeted out support for her. I mean, just think about that. Rather than distance themselves from an obviously divisive political statement, several of them, they tacitly endorsed them. Gina Carano makes posts that are right, that are libertarian or moderate in leaning. She's fired. Somebody says, "My white people bad." They get a personal endorsement from Lucasfilm and Star Wars themselves. Now the fans are starting to return, and once they've started to push back. This time they've hit Lucasfilm on their Star Wars YouTube channel with downvoting and comment campaigns. Some seem downvoted much higher than others. Well, if we look at, you know, these last two videos, the dislikes are going insane. But I will say this, they appear, at least in my, I don't know, I'm like gaslighting myself. I think they're definitely deleting comments, but I also think they're deleting dislikes as well. This video currently, their most recent video, sits at 16,000 dislikes. 16,000 for Star Wars. For Star Wars. People are going to the videos here, 80,000 views. Let's see where we're at. 16,000 dislikes, 2.4 thousand likes. I cannot believe you single-handedly destroyed a franchise and do not like independent thinking women. Top comment. Don't try to ruin my life with lies when yours can be ruined with the truth. Don't try, and it's just like everybody's spamming this. My daughter is 9. She knows nothing of politics or woke agendas. What she does know is that her favorite character besides Grogu is Cara. She's a girl and she can fight, my daughter's words. I told her Cara's not going to be in the show anymore. She asked why. Over to you, Lucasfilm. What do I tell her? Hashtag fire Kathleen Kennedy. It's been an enormous pushback. And this, when you actually have some good news. George Lucas is writing for a new Star Wars series. You get somebody who actually understands Star Wars, and he's back in the fold. Exciting turn of events. George Lucas will be returning to Star Wars in a meaningful way with Andor. IMDb has confirmed that the man who created A Galaxy Far, Far Away is the writer for 2 episodes of the upcoming streaming show. Lucas was last heavily involved in the Star Wars universe when he worked with Dave Filoni, who is now executive producer of Jon Favreau's The Mandalorian on the animated series The Clone Wars. Lucasfilm founder and science fiction guru has expressed that he expected to have more say in Disney's sequel trilogy and that he would return to Star Wars if he were given full creative control. While he doesn't seem to have total control over Andor, it is likely that Lucas's episodes will be able to propel the storyline forward however he sees fit. Furthermore, since Andor is slated to have 12 episodes, it's possible that Lucas will write additional scripts. These are all good things. These are all good things that are mired in these politically driven decisions. I mean, you have Daisy Ridley sticking her nose in here, clapping back at Ted Cruz. I'm very happy to be an emotionally tortured Jedi who doesn't leave their state. Oh, Daisy Ridley. Now, to be fair, Daisy Ridley was asked that question. She didn't offer that comment, but you know, Daisy Ridley has not really been an outwardly political person, at least from what I've seen. You know, if she has been, it hasn't made many headlines. This was, again, in response to being asked a question. So it's going to be interesting to see. You know, I'm almost wondering, you know, hey, here's the last week's from February 18th. So it's 4.7 now. It's only getting worse. And perhaps the more concerning thing is 70,000 views and only 1.9 thousand upvotes. That means the overwhelming majority of people that are viewing these videos, they're just coming here to dislike the video. They're coming here to laugh at you. And that's exactly what we're doing in the Star Wars universe now. You know, some seem to be downvoted much higher than others, the videos. Some are alleging Lucasfilm is removing downvotes and comments. You can see they removed so many comments, and I think they've even gotten dislikes reversed. There was more yesterday. Well, I watched the ratio for 3 days, and nope, there were more dislikes than likes. Something is fishy. I mean, there's something like that going on, of course. Now, of course, all this will likely be met with Lucasfilm dismissing it as harassment by toxic fans like they tend to do. I think they need to recognize that they have a real problem. I think they're just going to keep moving forward because they're hoping we're going to forget, but we will not forget. We'll keep reminding them that we're here whether they like it or not. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.